Zahra is a freelance multimedia journalist and documentary filmmaker from Nairobi, Kenya. Much of her work focuses on investigating the extractive industries, particularly those of Canadian and European mining companies operating in Africa. Her media projects explore issues of human rights, the environment, and security. She worked for the Humanitarian News Service of the United Nations as a reporter and producer, and her work has appeared on BBC's Focus on Africa magazine, Al Jazeera English, IPS News, Agence France Presse, IRIN News, CCTV's Faces of Africa, Amandla Radio, and more. She is currently filming an independent investigative documentary about the so-called war on terror in East Africa. And I would like to invite Zahra up here with me now.
Well, I started off mainly by investigating Canadian mining companies through print and radio. And this kind of came out of a longer print investigation for Al Jazeera. And I just took along a camera and we filmed, and the result is this 15-minute, it's not really a film, but it's more of an investigation, hearing testimonies from people who've been affected by really violent methods of extraction in Tanzania's mining sites. So that's where it came from. And there are Canadian mines also that Canadian-operated Canadian mining companies where the same kind of thing is taking place in Tanzania. Mainly Tanzania, Kenya, and a little bit in the DRC and Congo. But in terms of filming, it's mainly been in Tanzania. So most of my work has been in Tanzania. Well, this is a zero-budget film. So like the films I've done that are not about mining have been commissioned. And you just find ways. You do a print story, you sell it, and you just try to do other things on the side. So yeah, this is actually the only independent film I've produced that's 15 minutes, and it's short, but yeah, there was no funding. And I'd like to be able to show it to people in Tanzania. It hasn't yet screened there. But yeah, it's it's not easy to get funding, as you know, to make films that are very critical of multinational companies. Especially in that part of the world. So. Hopefully next year, if I can get back. And but yeah, I also would like to. It's also difficult because tracking down you'll see in the film, but tracking down some of the people that live in and around these mining sites is difficult because the situation is really dangerous for them as well. So it's not been easy to go back. And this was filmed in 2013. So yeah, it would be good to go and show it to them. It's still in progress, but basically the global war on terror, as it's playing out in East Africa, has been really affected a lot of coastal communities and Muslim communities that live on the coast in East Africa. And there have been basically a lot of extrajudicial killings by the police, and there's pretty much no accountability. And I think it's something we don't really hear about very often over here. You hear about the war on terror elsewhere quite a lot, but in East Africa it's really, there's a lot of interest and there's a lot of politics, and so I'm kind of working on it. It's still in progress in development, so we'll see where that goes. Well, I know there are a few groups that are doing really good work here. There's Mining Watch, and then I think there are a few activist groups like Mining Injustice Solidarity Network. There's also a global network that's called Yes to Life, No to Mining, and that kind of brings together other groups from the Global South. But yeah, I mean, like things like what you're going to see in both the films, I think, are not very well reported. And so even just being able to talk about it and to learn about it is very important. Like even in East Africa, these kind of incidents of really violent extraction and militarization and people being killed or dispossessed are not even talked about very much in the media there. So even just like reading about it and sharing information is in my mind very important as well. But yeah, I know there's a lot of other groups as well, but those are the three that I came to mind here.